Good morning, children. In our previous session, we had already discussed the lesson The Treasure Within. You know, this lesson has been taken from your supplementary reader. It so happened. Actually, this is an interview of between MS Bela Raja, editor of Espers, and the a famous architect Hafiz contractor. Today we are going to discuss part 2. He stumbled on architecture because he knew little French and less German. Stumbled on means got into architecture by chance. He was offbeat even in the pranks that he played on others. Offbeat means unusual or unconventional, even in the pranks that he played on others. When he found his calling is work or vocation of his choice, there was no looking back. Bela Raja, how did you get into the field of architecture? Hafiz Contractor says, in the college for architecture, nobody who had got below 80 to 85% was allowed to enter. I had only 50%. I wanted to join the army. I got my admission later, but my aunt tore it up. Then I decided that I wanted to join the police force. My mother said, don't join the police force, just do your graduation. So I went to Jai Hind College in Bombay. There I was to either take French or German, though I had studied French for 7 years. I did not know 7 words of French. You can think how much was he a poor student. So I took German. Then my German teacher died. The college told me that I could change the college or take French. Now, who would give me admission in another college? I had got admission to Jai Hind by influence. Influence, an important person recommended him for admission or used his influence to get him admitted. So I thought, okay, I will take French, and I started learning French again. I learnt it from my cousin. She was an architect's wife. I was going to an architect's office to learn French. Bela Raja. Was it then that you decided you wanted to do architecture? His contractor says, actually, it all happened quite by chance. In the architect's office, I saw somebody drawing a window detail. A window detail is a very advanced drawing. I told him that his drawing was wrong, that the window he had drawn would not open. He then had a bet with me, and later he found that indeed his drawing was wrong. My cousin's husband was surprised. He asked me to draw a few specific things, which I immediately did. He asked me to design a house, and I designed a house. After that, he told me to drop everything and join architecture. We went to meet the principal of the college. The principal warned me, I will allow you to take part in the entrance exams, but if you do not do well, I will not allow you to join. I got an A plus in the entrance exam, and from that day it was a cakewalk. Cakewalk means a smooth ride, something easy to achieve. I had never made a plan, but I knew how something looked like from the top. I had never known what a section was, but I knew if you cut a plan, what it would look like. I stood first class first throughout. After that, I believe that all this understanding came from what I used to play and do during school. I had a friend called Behram Divecha. We used to have competitions between us for designing forts, guns, and ammunition. Ammunition means arms. Each of us would design something in an effort to be different. In school, when I was in the second or third standard, one of my teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw me my sketches and I told me, see, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you become an architect. I did not know at the time, but she was right. Later, after I became an architect, I went back to meet her and tell her, Bela Raja, why do you think you did not like studies? Was it because you felt you could not deal with the curriculum? Cope means manage or handle or deal with. Curriculum is school subjects or prescribed courses of study. Hafiz contractor. I was very bad at languages, science, and geography. I could deal with. Maths was very bad. I just was not interested. I was studying for the sake of studying. What they taught me today, I would forget after 2 days. I would not bother because there was no application of mind there to begin with. Bela Raja. Did you think that what they taught in school was boring? Or did you feel that once you understood the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? Hafiz contacted. Living in a boarding school is difficult. We were just living from day to day. Nowadays, there are so many tests. Back then, whenever we had tests, we used to just copy. The teacher thought that we had done our work. Bela Raja. There is a contention that giftedness, giftedness means having special abilities, and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? Hafiz contactor will take some students from my class. Those who always stood first or second are today doing very ordinary jobs. Bela Raja. I have come across this situation in so many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinarily today. Hafiz contactor in school. I think living our lives there made us street smart. Street smart means smart by doing things independently by choice rather than force. I have learnt more by doing what I did on my own than what academics would have taught me. Bela Raja. That is because the personality and skills were there. You were able to find expression in a manner you were comfortable with, and you defied every rule. Defied means broke every rule so that nobody would stop you from doing what you needed to do. Hafiz contactor. I was more interested in other things. If, for example, while in class it started raining outside, I would think of the flowing water and how to build a dam to block it. I would be thinking about the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. That was my interest for the day. When students lost a button while playing or fighting, they would come running to me and I would cut a button for them from chalk using a blade. Dis- Discipline in the school was very important and no student could afford to have a button missing. The student would get past dinner with a full neat uniform and after that it did not matter. Bela Raja. Coming to the present, how do you decide as to what kind of a structure you want to give a client? Hafiz contactor. I look at the client's face, his clothes, the way he talks and pronounces, the way he eats, and I would know what his taste would be like. I can relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. I sketch very spontaneously in a natural way on a paper on the spot. That paper I give to my people in the office. Bela Raja. You do it instinctively. Insti- Instinctively means naturally, not coming from training or based on reasoning. Hafiz contractor, call it instinct, call it arithmetic, whatever. Now it comes to me like mathematics, putting design, construction, psychology, and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics. Here we almost come to the full circle where Mr. Contractor had derived his own interpretation of mathematics, taking it from a subject he hated to a subject he now loves dealing with. Dear children, this lesson is very important for you. In the beginning, you see how Hafiz Contractor hated mathematics, but he accepted mathematics in a different way. This is important, and you know he is famous architect in our country, living in Mumbai. So you should try to grow in different ways. Comprehension check. Question number one. Hafiz contractor wanted to join the police force. Why did not he? You know, his mother did not allow him to join the police force. In the architect's office, Hafiz contractor was advised to drop everything and join architecture. Why? In architect's office, Hafiz contractor was advised to join architecture because he said that the window, which was made by an official, would not open. That is why he was advised to join architecture. Part 1 of question 3. What was Mrs. Gupta's advice to Hafiz contractor? Mrs. Gupta had advised Hafiz contractor to join architecture when he grew up. Yes. Question number 2 of 3. What made her advise him so? The sketches of Hafiz contractor made her advise him so. Question number 4. How did he help fellow students who had lost a button? Just we have seen he helped fellow students who had lost their buttons by cutting a piece of chalk. Question number 5. Which rules did he break as a schoolboy? Hafiz contractor broke the rules by copying in examination because he was not a good student in academics. Question number 1 of 6. What is Hafiz contractor's definition of mathematics? Putting design, construction, psychology, and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is the definition of mathematics of Hafiz contractor. Second of question number 6. How do you want to define mathematics? Do you like the subject? You can say mathematics is a number game. This is a subject Some of you like mathematics, some of you do not like mathematics. So this is a different thing. There are some exercises for you. You should answer them. Answer the following questions. It is likely that someone who is original and intelligent does not do very well at school. Should such a learner be called a failure? If not, why not? Yes, it appears to be a reality that someone who is original and intelligent does not do very well at school. Such learner cannot be called failure because he sees the reality in his own way. You can see the example of Albert Einstein. He was not liked by his teachers. So there are many examples. Question number 2. Who is in your view is an unusual learner? You can say an unusual learner is one who can achieve something great beyond the none way. Question number 3. What can schools do to draw out the best in unusual learners? Suggest whatever seems is reasonable to you. The schools can provide an atmosphere beyond the class for the unusual learners because such learners do not cope with the class, and if they are provided proper environment they can do better. Dear children, don't give your hope. If you are weak, this is our duty that we should try again and again, and there is no doubt you will win the race. The lesson teaches us this thing. So, behind every success, there is a failure. Failure is not a very bad thing, but failure inspires us to do something, and such such people become successful in their life. So, I think you will read this lesson again and again. If you find any word difficult, you should use the dictionary and you should try to write the answer of these questions. The questions which are given by me to you in the assignment in your Google Classroom, you should try to solve them. I think you will do so. Thank you, children.